Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Salenti, and it's Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. And we're very, very honored to have with us again Judge Andrew Napolitano. And there's no one, and again, show me any, give me the facts. There's nobody that knows the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, what it means, and how we've lost it than the judge. And we're very honored again to have him back from after his vacation to be with us. Judge, thanks for being here today.
It's a pleasure to be here, my dear friend. I missed you dearly. In fact, almost everywhere I went in Italy, I thought, Gerald would love this. Gerald would love this. We should be having dinner and a bottle of wine together right now.
Yeah. Well, right now, I'm just having a cup of espresso, hand ground.
All right, fresh ground. I'm having water, fresh poured.
And a little bit of anisette in here. You know, I don't use that sugar. I like it sweet in another way.
A lot of people in Italy have anisette and sambuca in the espresso first thing in the morning. It's very, very common. So I was at a train station, an old-fashioned Italian train station, where you quickly are going to eat a croissant and a cup of coffee. So you order the croissant, you order the coffee, you pay the cashier, you give the ticket to the girl, she gives you the coffee, she gives you the croissant. Boom! She puts a bottle of anisette right down the front. I said, what is this for? She goes, everybody uses it. Take it, take it.
I'm telling you, that's what I do. Oh, I love it. Gets me going. So, Judge.
A lot has happened.
You know, you put articles out each week, and this article is going to be out tomorrow. And of all the articles you've written, I said, the judge has gone to a whole different level in how much he despises the murder and thievery going on around the world, and that's being committed with the help and assistance and actions of the United States. This article that you wrote, again, I got here just to show you. I underline the salient points. The whole damn thing, the whole thing is underlined. When presidents kill, sometime before he withdrew from the presidential race, President Joe Biden secretly reaffirmed his own self-willed and self-created authority to kill persons in other countries, so long as the CIA and its military counterparts have, quote, near certainty that the target of the homicide is a member of a terrorist organization. That standard was concocted by the George W. Bush administration in 2002. I just want to mention this before you go on. The CIA and its military counterparts, near certainty. What does near certainty mean? We believe, we're not sure, but kill them anyway?
That's exactly
terrorist?
That's exactly
what makes the person a terrorist? I mean, by what definition? And what right do you have to kill somebody if they're not going to attack you?
Tell that to every president from George W. to Joe Biden. What you're saying is exactly correct, but you are following the moral law, the natural law, and the constitutional law. These presidents of both political parties have given themselves the power to murder, and in some cases they have boasted about it. Obama was the most severe because he murdered Americans, and he boasted about it. What is a terrorist? Well, to George III, Thomas Jefferson and George Washington were terrorists. To us, they're American heroes and founding fathers.
You mentioned Obama. In the book Double Down, he's quoted as saying, quote, I'm really good at killing people.
You know, when Obama killed Anwar al-Awlaki, who was born in New Mexico, and Mr. al-Awlaki's son, who was born in Virginia, his father, al-Awlaki's father, went to a federal court and said, there are rumors the president is going to kill my son. I want you, Judge so-and-so, to sign an order prohibiting the president from killing my son. And the judge said, well, you don't have standing to sue. And by the way, Mr. Awalaki, this is fanciful. Presidents don't kill people. 2 months later, the son and the grandson were evaporated by a drone while peacefully sitting at an outdoor cafe in Yemen. And Fox allowed me to go over the top about this on air, so much so that the Department of Justice finally released its legal justification to NBC News. A friend of mine at NBC got it to me right away. If a law student had submitted this paper in law school, he would have flunked. Their justification for killing Americans, they likened it to the police shooting at bank robbers who were shooting at them. Oh, really? A guy sitting in a cafe 10,000 miles away, not even charged with a crime, is the moral equivalent of a bank robber shooting at police? This was the nonsensical legal opinion drafted by Eric Holder on which Barack Obama relied when he killed those Americans. And I'm not just picking on Obama. I think he was the worst because he killed Americans. George W. Bush killed many. Donald Trump famously killed General Soleimani, who was on his way to lunch to negotiate a peace treaty with his counterpart in Iraq. It's sickening that presidents believe they can kill, and Biden is no different, because American troops are advising Ukrainian troops how to kill Russian boys and IDF troops how to kill civilians.
The presidential use of drones to kill persons overseas began in 2002, you're right, with Bush-ordered target killings. They continued under President Barack Obama, who even killed Americans, as you were saying, overseas. The rules for killing were made up by each president. And by the way, Obama, I call him the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner.
Right.
This is the little arrogant clown, a little boy of nothing, brought to you by what? The Pritzkers? Oh, yeah, the billionaire families that own the Hyatt. Yeah, that Pritzkers. Yeah. When little Obama was a nobody in Illinois in the Senate, that Obama who lied his way into office as a peace president. I wrote in the Trends Journal back then that he was full of baloney. He was a lying little piece of scum. And that's who he turned out to be. And you right over here. It continued under President Obama, who even killed Americans overseas. The rules for killing were made up by each president. They were relaxed under President Donald Trump, who gave CIA senior personnel and military commanders the authority to kill without his express approval for each killing. I mean, look what you're writing. That people give orders to kill whoever the hell you want?
I fear that killing will happen here in the United States, because the theory behind the killing is, even though the victim is not engaged in violence, by killing the victim now, we prevent future violence. This is, of course, profoundly violative of the natural law, the moral law, and the Constitution, but this is their theory. But it's a small leap from killing an American at a cafe in Yemen to killing an American at a cafe in Washington, D.C., with this warped mentality that they can kill whoever they want.
You go on to say Abraham Lincoln was the first head of state in world history to target civilians militarily, and the first to engage in the indiscriminate slaughter of civilians of his own country. How many did he kill?
About 750,000.
And destroyed the South.
Correct.
Blew it to nothing.
Correct. Particularly Georgia and South Carolina looked like Eastern Ukraine.
You go on to write, Franklin D. Roosevelt slaughtered thousands of innocent, helpless German civilians at the end of World War II by carpet bombing German cities. What's that one, that German?
Dresden.
Right. All civilians.
Correct.
Leveled it.
Correct.
Just as it's perfectly fine, because after all, Judge, the Israelis are leveling Gaza. They have every right to slaughter anybody that they want. We're getting Hamas. They're in everybody's house, in everybody's school, in everybody's church, in everybody's mosque, in everybody's hospital.
What you just said is an incredibly accurate paraphrase of what the mass genocidal murderer told a joint session of Congress last week, during which his 55-minute speech was interrupted 58 times by standing ovations. As Scott Ritter says, what do you expect? He has an audience he bought and paid for. Those people were not there representing the American people. They were there showing their subservience to the Israeli state and to the donor classes that fund their campaigns. Both parties. Thomas Massey, the only Republican that didn't go. 100 Democrats, God bless them. Not people that I would agree with on their voting records. They refused to go. Kamala Harris refused to go. I don't agree with her on many things, but I was ecstatic that she wasn't there. She refused to be seen publicly shaking his hand.
Yeah, she's playing both sides of the fence.
She is. I'm not saying I want her to be president, but
I know. On the Israeli thing, she's playing both sides of the fence.
Correct.
And by the way, you saw our trend alert. Our special trend alert. She's going to win. She's going to win big time.
Gerald, I agree with you. The world is so strange. After that assassination attempt, I said, Trump can go back to Mar-a-Lago. There's no way he's going to lose. But the whole world has changed now. And This guy Vance is the weirdest person on 2 feet.
I do a podcast on InfoWars every Monday, and I was doing it live. And they said, Mr. Salenti, Trump just announced that he selected Vance as his vice presidential candidate. And I said, bad choice. And not knowing all the other stuff, I said, it's a bad choice because Vance is from Ohio. And Trump won Ohio big against Biden. He should have picked somebody from a swing state.
Correct. They never imagined that Biden would leave. By waiting until after the RNC, Biden trapped Trump into choosing somebody who will not expand his base.
And, going back to, what we're talking about in these murderous people. And again, Kamala Harris, her husband's Jewish. She's probably going to pick that guy. She may pick that guy from Pennsylvania that's Jewish. So they get the swing state over there. And again, what you were saying about how it's the cover of our magazine. What you were saying about that when Netanyahu was giving the speech to Congress that they paid for, right?
Yes.
Free elections, got no money, got no chance. America is run by the robber barons.
Correct.
And that's exactly what you were talking about. You go on to say that in your article that the presidents could kill whomever they please, and somehow Congress can lawfully authorize these killings. I just want to mention this because how many of these people call themselves Christians? What Christ believes in murder? And all you Jewish people that also believe in it, how about those things you call the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not kill is one of those things. Right? Where are all these people that spew out this crap about their religiosity and it's okay to murder everybody?
So last weekend, the Knesset, that's the Israeli parliament, held a debate on whether or not the IDF should lawfully be able to rape their captors. And the second part of the debate was whether or not the IDF should be able to execute their captors so as to provide more room in Israeli jails. They didn't take a vote, but that was the actual debate. Those two proposals were offered by Prime Minister Netanyahu's coalition. You're talking about, as Jeff Sachs says, a criminal gang, a criminal gang of murderous thugs who are utterly lawless, who feign a religiosity to justify this slaughter. And Ray McGovern has been way out in front on this. The rampant disease in Gaza today, which we all thought was eradicated, going back to when you and I were kids, polio, rampant in Gaza.
I mean, look at the pictures. Look what they're doing. They're bombing the hell out of the place. Could you imagine? I mean, and you look at what that city used to look like. It wasn't like a dump.
Yeah.
And now it's bombed. Could you imagine your home being bombed and everybody around you living in tents in a desert and then being bombed there? Oh, and this is the hypocrisy, by the way, Judge. You go back to the covers of the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times on Monday after 11 people were killed allegedly by Hezbollah in the Golan Heights, the stolen land that Donald Trump said, it's fine, you can keep stealing, that Israel's occupying. That's the New York Times front page of the funeral of these people. This is the Wall Street Journal front page. All right?
Right.
11 killed. How many Palestinians were killed yesterday?
Oh.
We've been listing in the Trends Journal each week the hundreds that are being slaughtered every week. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. No pictures of them. No pictures. Screw them. They're only Palestinians. They're not God's chosen people. And by the way, God does not choose people. And as Naomi Wolf said very clearly, a Jewish woman, say that's a lot of baloney, this chosen people stuff. God chooses people not because of their religion, because of their morality and living to the standards of what God, teaches and preaches. But look at the hypocrisy of this.
Yeah. It's so disheartening. It was a relief for me to be away from all this for 2 weeks, but it's just disheartening. This thing involving these Druze kids, they were Arabs in an occupied land. Why would Hezbollah kill its own people? It just doesn't make sense. And yet the Israeli government will use this as a pretext to kill somebody in Beirut, which they did. They're going to start World War III. In 24 hours, they performed an assassination in Tehran and another one in Beirut. The guy they killed in Tehran was in charge of the ceasefire negotiations. So how the hell can a mediation or a negotiation succeed when one side murders the chief negotiator on the other side? That's exactly what happened in the past 48 hours.
Judge, this article you wrote, as I said, your passion for peace and your hatred for evil, war, and murder is so evident in this. And everybody should feel the same passion. These are evil people. They're demonic people that are running the countries in most of the world, and particularly in the West, in Israel, and the United States. They're evil. And if we don't have peace on earth, it's going to be hell on earth. As you said, World War III has already begun, as we said, and they're just going to keep escalating it. And this is the escalation of it. By the way, you see how gold prices are going up because of all of this as well?
Yes.
Judge, everybody needs to see what you're doing every day. We were talking before we went on the air. I said, how was your trip? He said, great. But so much has been going on that I had to keep staying in touch with what's happening and keeping it going. So you go to judging freedom. Judging freedom. Could you imagine judging freedom? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which you write in here, has been stolen from us. We need to get our freedom back. And the judge is doing everything he can with the people that he's bringing on to make that happen. And the judge is going to be up here in Kingston, New York on September 28th on the Four Corners of Freedom. Go to Occupy Peace, occupypeace.com. Judge Napolitano, Scott Ritter, Max Blumenthal, Anya Parampil, and others are going to be here. We want 1 million people here. We want to have peace. We're in charge, not them. It's we, the people of the United States, not a bunch of little political clowns. We have to put our power into place as people that are true Americans, or whatever you are, of a spirit of the God you believe in, not the devil and the worshipers that are running and ruining life on earth. Judge, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next week.
Gerald, you just put goosebumps on my arms. Thank you so much, my dear friend. No matter what we talk about, I love our time together, and you're a great human being. All the best.
Thank you.